Now give me that.
You go. I fight soldiers. You make good escape.
I know that here in China, women hold up half the sky, but...
I have instructions, please.
Give me the gun, Lai Ping.
Soldiers coming. You must go to the dam.
I don't want to offend you, Lai Ping, but I can't go running off and leave you here to shoot it out with them.
I have instructions.
Come on, Lai Ping. I'm a guest in your country, and where's that world-famous courtesy and hospitality?
You'll not survive.
Well, this way one of us will. The prettiest one. I couldn't have gotten this far without you, you know that.
了，谢谢你。
哎，开门了。哎，谢谢。
这里是这个，
上车了。
谢谢。水果很新鲜。
Monahan's okay.
Of course he's okay. When was he ever not okay?
Now, not to worry, Bucky. Just routine. They've only had him for 4 weeks.
Any new theories on why he was caught or how?
He screwed up. An unpredictable loused him up or he was betrayed.
What do you think happened?
Well, he didn't screw up. Not our friend Monahan.
You don't want me to screw up, do you, Gene? Well, do you?
Is that a threat?
No, I'm just telling you, I need a new kind of lifestyle now. I need some time off from this spying business. Regularly. Like every other month.
You serious?
Very.
Look, I got this problem in China. There's information waiting for me to get out of there. You're the guy to go in and get it. Clear?
I'll work a month, and I want the next month off. That's what I want. That's what I need to be happy.
Monahan, just because you've got an unlimited expense account and get to travel all over the world, don't get confused. You are just a federal employee like the FBI, the Marines, the President. Nobody gets every other month off. That's crazy.
I'll get it or I'll quit.
Will you go to China?
If you are going to go to China, Frank, I have to paint your back tonight with that photosensitive compound.
He's going.
If I get a month off afterwards. Make up your mind, Gene.
Did he, Gene? Gene.
What?
I said, did he say anything that might make you think that something was wrong or...
No.
Didn't they say 3 o'clock?
What's the difference? We'll sit here till they call.
Come on, Monahan, pick it up. You're already 2 seconds behind.
I understand Monahan has volunteered to sneak the secret recipe for sweet and sour pork out of China.
Francis Z. Monahan volunteered? Impossible.
Right on the money, Francis. You picked up the 2 seconds. Good work. Oh, yeah. Doc McKeever. He wants to check on your back next. Make sure that stuff's been absorbed. And don't get cold.
I know I said I'd play tennis with you this morning, Bucky, but, well, play left-handed when I get back. How's that?
Okay, I understand.
And another thing, Jenna's got to be off 3 days. 6 to be exact.
Have a safe trip. Goodbye, Frank.
Hey, you want to read that line again with a little feeling?
I don't say goodbye very well. And I don't kiss goodbye very well either.
I know. And that is why I'm trying to help you prove all I can, baby.
Stop patronizing me, Frank.
I'm gonna miss you. I'm coming back.
I cried the last time you left. Isn't that dumb? I cried.
No, it's not dumb.
All right, get those exchange prisoners out there.
He looks all right, doesn't he?
Yeah, he seems okay.
Oh, Frank, thank God you're all right. Oh,
You okay, Frank?
wait a minute. Something's the matter. Something's the matter with him.
Who are all you people? What's going on?
Frank. Frank, what's the matter?
Is that my name? Frank.
What have they done to him?
He got out with it. They didn't find it.
Is that all you care about? That he got out of China with the blueprints that you wanted? What about what they did to him? Why can't he remember who he is or who we are?
Bucky,
It wasn't worth it, you hear me? Those blueprints are not worth what they did to Frank.
There are three possibilities, Gene. A, Monahan was hypnotized before the Chinese released him. Or B, he received a blow to the head which caused amnesia. Or C, because he saw something he shouldn't have, that they had to make sure he never remembered. They actually did something to his brain.
Like what?
Lobotomy.
They couldn't have done a lobotomy on him without it showing. And he doesn't have any scars. You said so yourself.
They could have gone in through the eye sockets or the ears.
How much of his memory's left?
The rest of the medical team is waiting for us in Guam. We'll come up with the answers there, Gene.
Yeah.
This just came from Santa Barbara, sir.
How could they have grabbed that Russian? How?
Well, they say a full report's on its way.
I want Bradshaw brought in from Cairo, Mullins and Fredericks from Hong Kong. All in my office tomorrow night. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Monahan's spinal fluid has high levels of endorphins. Very unusual, unless he had brain surgery, which he did not have, at least not with the scalpel. Monahan's intelligence has not been affected, nor has his speech pattern, and yet he seemingly has suffered a complete loss of memory. He doesn't remember how to play poker.
Let's see him.
There's a very important point I want to make about the alpha mode of his memory cells, Gene. It's that...
Jake, let's see him.
Frank, tell us where you were born.
I don't know.
Your mother's name? Do you own a dog, Frank?
I don't remember.
Can you spell the word dog?
I don't know.
What else?
Frank, I want you to look at those pictures and tell me if you recognize any of them.
For a minute, I thought he was here.
That's enough.
We only have a few more tests to go, Gene.
Jake.
You better take it easy, sir, if you're not used to it.
Can I talk to you now, Gene?
You sure you're okay, sir?
They did it with chemicals, Gene. That's how they erased his memory. Biochemicals.
Jake, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, now, wait a minute. Listen to me, will you? Now, I ran a blood flow radio scope scan on Monahan's brain. The chemicals they used erased 90% of Monahan's knowledge, his memory. But they didn't get to the top of his temporal lobes, Gene. That's why his vocabulary is intact. And that's why he'll remember what he experiences from now on, day to day.
That's great news, Jake. All we gotta do is send him to a farm somewhere with a nursemaid and a box of crayons. He can spend the next 30 years relearning what the Chinese erased.
Well, now, wait a minute, Gene. I want...
Will you get out of here, Jake?
Excuse me, Mr. Danziger.
What is it, Martin?
It appears our Russian submarine captain was kidnapped by Reuben Parrott's men.
I could have guessed.
Reuben Parrots?
Are they positive it was Parrots?
I'm afraid so, Mr. Danziger. The Russian was spotted in Parrott's jet when it stopped at the Guatemala City airport to refuel.
All right. I'll want an update on the Parrots file right away. 24-hour surveillance on his estate. Get it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy.
There's another possibility for Monahan, Gene. The Alpha Computer Project. We could try it on Monahan.
Damn it, Jake. What are you using for brains? Alpha 10 is what you've been testing on animals, not human beings.
We've only tried it on animals so far because we've been afraid it might do damage to a man's memory. But as you've seen, Monahan is terribly unique. He has no memory to damage. The chemicals they used on Monahan left his hippocampus clean, open, and incredibly receptive. His memory is in the Alpha 10 mode, Gene.
Alpha 10?
He's more receptive to learning from the Alpha computer than any man on Earth.
Gene! Gene! Gene, I am not going to Japan.
Your informant at the Russian embassy has been transferred. You need to develop a new one fast.
It'll wait until we get Frank to Santa Barbara and...
It won't wait.
You're sending me off to do busy work. You're trying to get rid of me.
You know, your instincts used to be pretty good, kid, but they're getting rusty. You call me when you get there.
Hey, I can't believe that you're sending me away at a time like this.
Hey, it's your job.
Frank needs me.
Needs you? Hell, he doesn't even know who you are.
Hello, Gene.
Morning. How the hell did you get these?
Seems like I have a few friends in the office. I figured I had a right to know what I've been doing for the last few years. How else could I find out? You're a pretty daring guy, the way you've been sending me off to faraway places to risk my life.
You loved every minute of it.
This experiment that you want to do tomorrow. A couple of the guys in the lab are saying I shouldn't do it.
Yeah, what do they know?
They say it's dangerous. That it could fry my brain is the phrase they used.
Who told... Don't listen to them.
Well, I haven't got any family I can ask. Bucky's off on assignment.
Yeah, I sent her away so she wouldn't interfere.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So it looks like you are the closest friend I have I can ask.
Well, there's a risk. Minimal. But there's a risk. If you want to be again what you were before, do it.
And if I don't?
Yeah, we'd change your name, your identity. Set you up on a farm or a ranch somewhere out of the way. The rest of your life would be a piece of cake.
One of the guys in the lab said that the last rabbit they did this test on afterwards couldn't tell the difference between a carrot and a screwdriver.
Frank, it's up to you.
Well, how the hell do you expect me to make a decision when I don't have any experience I can compare this with that I can remember?
If you were my son, I'd tell you to do it.
Sentimental junk like that work on me before?
No. I'm sorry, Frank. I want you to know I'm very sorry about what happened to you in China.
Well, Frank, you might just as well know what we're doing to you before we do it.
Make it brief, Jake.
If this works, you're going to learn a rather complicated skill. If it doesn't, well, the worst is you'll have a slight headache, that's all. Now, we've put 16 megabytes of technical data on those tapes. That's 16 hours, Frank. The data then goes from the tapes to the electromagnetic converter, which changes it from computer language to brain language.
What is brain language?
Brain language is a series of uniquely coded, human brain compatible electrical impulses that I have written 2 books on, and I don't have time to explain right now. Lastly, the data, now converted into a language the brain can understand, is transmitted into your brain on a very low frequency energy called the alpha 10 wavelength. Now, alpha 10 is similar to the way your brain is just before falling asleep.
This is going to take 16 hours?
No, we can transmit the data to your brain in 11 minutes.
Jake, no hard feelings, but I don't understand or believe any of this.
Come on, let's do it.
Now, wait a minute. Is it true what happened to one of your male rabbits?
Oh, that after a procedure like the one you're going through, he couldn't tell the difference between a female rabbit and a light bulb? Well, no, there's no truth to it.
Come on.
Okay.
What we're going to try to teach you is Mandarin Chinese. Take your shirt off, please, and sit in that chair.
Here we go. You're ready when you are, Frank. Frank, you okay?
You can still tell the difference between a female rabbit and a light bulb, if that's what you mean.
在四人帮被发现、被推倒以前，他们想要摧毁中国的电影业，你听到过吗？
我读了很多关于这方面的东西，我甚至知道有些电影他们控制了30年的时光才完成。
对了，那得需要一个很长的时期才能够恢复得过来。
I can actually speak Chinese.
Incredible work, Jake. Congratulations.
You guys did it. I can learn from this computer. I can relearn everything I ever knew.
Congratulations.
Frank? Frank, there's something I've got to tell you. Now, it's going to be disappointing.
Jake, after the way you and your computers had me spewing Chinese today, I am ready for anything.
Now, that part of your brain is like a clean slate. It's cleaner and quieter and more receptive than that of an infant's. And that's why the experiment worked on you, but it wouldn't work on anybody else.
Jake, look, I gotta tell you, I don't care about any of that, just so long as I can relearn what I knew before.
Yes. Well, Frank, we don't know how long your memory cells will retain what you learned from the computer.
You mean I'm gonna forget what I learned today?
Yes.
How soon?
I don't know, Frank.
Well, take a guess. 6 months, a year, 5 years, what?
Well, Frank,
Come on, Jake, spit it out. Say it.
Well, we only have one thing to go on, Frank, and that's our experience with animals.
Okay. How long did they remember what the computer taught them?
30 hours, Frank. 30 hours was the longest.
It's gonna be the same with me, Jake. Am I gonna forget whatever you pump into my head after 30 hours?
I don't know, Frank.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. We just have to wait and see.
How'd he take it?
He was upset. I was upset. I couldn't sleep.
I don't want any fooling around, Jake. No delays. I want you to try every kind of computer input on Monahan you can dream up. I want to know exactly what his limits are.
Oh, what's the point, Gene? If he can only retain the information we give him for a short time, what's the point of it?
Go to bed.
I'm serious.
Jake! I don't want to discuss it. I want to know where Peretz was turning the Russian over to the KGB. Time, day, place exactly.
Yes, sir.
And get that off on the teletype right away. And hit the sack, Martin.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Night.
That completes the inertial guidance system's vertical axis stabilization circuit.
Amazing. You've even picked up the accent of the scientist who provided the data. Mr. Riggs, we've recorded the skills of a top woman tennis pro on computer tape. That data was transmitted into Monahan's brain.
A woman tennis pro?
Yes, sir. Now, what we'd like to know is how well he learned. Now, we expect him to be able to ace you.
Ace me? I get everything back. No way he's going to be able to ace me. Especially if he was taught by a woman tennis pro. Are you trying to hustle me?
Oh, no, sir. No, this is strictly a scientific experiment. No, we really want your opinion.
Oh, impossible. No way. I knew you were putting me on.
With all physical skills, there is an erratic period of adjustment before his muscles catch up with what's in his brain.
Just lucky. I had something in my eye then. Hey, I wasn't ready for that.
你为什么想要观光中华人民共和国？
喜欢恢复我的记忆。
对不起，我没听懂。
It's a private joke, Mrs. Wang.
Well,
He's still perfect.
72 hours, Frank. You've remembered it 72 hours and you're still going strong.
Yeah.
Good job, Jake. Very good.
Thanks, Gene.
He's retained his knowledge of Mandarin Chinese for 72 hours?
I don't know how much longer he'll remember it. I'll keep testing him, of course.
Well, if he's remembered what you pumped into his brain for 3 days, that's long enough.
Long enough for what?
I'm sending Monahan to the Parrots compound.
Are you serious?
You know anyone else who can learn to be a mechanic for an English racing car? And also learn how to get to that Russian in Parrots compound in 23 hours?
Well, we don't know enough about how this computer-to-brain learning works. Well, we've only just...
What's the matter? You suddenly lost confidence in your genius?
Oh, now be reasonable, Gene.
Jake, your report says there isn't anything he can't learn.
Well...
Okay. Now, we need the Russian sub-defense plan from the sub-captain. And the only way I know to get it is, without starting a war in Central America or getting that Russian killed, is to send Monahan in the Parrots compound, impersonating the mechanic who's scheduled to arrive there in 23 hours.
Gene, it's crazy.
Here's the file on a factory-trained mechanic who's agreed to cooperate. And here's the file on Parrott's compound.
Gene, you are going to get Monahan killed.
Frank! Frank!
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. Been away a long time.
Yeah, well, you know.
Come on, Francis, keep moving. You need to work out.
You haven't forgotten, have you?
What?
Don't give me that innocent look. The Rams lost, Frank. They got slaughtered.
You know, I did forget.
How much did you bet?
$20.
Listen, I'll be out here tomorrow, pal. I'll have it with me, okay?
All right.
Okay, you got it.
See you later, Frank.
Take care. It is weird running into people from my dead past.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I'll get his name. Have him checked out.
What are the Rams?
Phew, that was a good workout. Oh, yeah. Now we gotta do that every day from now on.
Great. Bucky.
Remember me?
Well, sure, I remember you.
Thought you were in Tokyo.
I was.
Does Danziger know you're back?
No.
How'd you get in?
I have a key.
Well, I guess I'll go take a shower.
What, do you remember about me?
You were with Danziger and McKeever when I was released, and you were in that conference room.
Terrific.
What?
Oh, you were released 10 days ago, and you remember.
I only have a problem with the 30 years before that.
I know. But, maybe we can start our relationship all over again. Maybe even make it better than it was.
I'll get it.
How was it before?
We were friends. Good friends.
Yeah?
It was nice. I liked you a lot. We had... I'm getting embarrassed.
Get dressed, Francis. The man wants to see you. Right away.
Okay, Red.
What's been going on?
I think I'd rather hear about us.
We'll talk about us later. Get dressed, Frank.
Welcome back.
Our reconnaissance shows the Russian sub-captain is being held in a concrete building directly behind the terrace of Parrott's compound. Transmission for computer tape number 15409 completed. Begin transmission for computer tape number 14510. This is via Molkov, Russian sub-captain. There is only room for you in the escape helicopter. The Russian sub-captain must be left behind. He is expendable. This is Reuben Parrott's compound. The X indicates where the Russian sub-captain is being held. Reuben Parrott's, his daughter Danielle, Carl Lathrop, his right-hand man.
What's he got so far?
The personal history on the American with the English accent who worked a few out-of-the-way races. The complete package on Parrott's compound, floor plan, escape routes, plus the rendezvous location. Parrott's and Lathrop, his right-hand man, Parrott's daughter. What's left to give Frank is all the cat burglar tricks and some self-defense techniques. The data on the Russian, and of course the whole package on repairing and tuning the racing car, plus the surgery procedure and his emergency receiver.
It contains 4 forward gears made of an extreme high-temp steel interlocking with synchro rings, all keyed into a central steel shaft. This is driven by the power unit, a 4-cylinder, 1,600 cubic centimeter Ford engine with a 12-to-1 compression ratio. Firing order is 1, 2, 4, 3. You know, I can drive one of these cars a heck of a lot better than I can repair them. There are 2 two-barrel inline carburetors. Starting with the basics, inside here, we see the main jets that spray the petrol into the throat, mixing it with the inducted air.
The idea is to get the grid points of the North Atlantic Russian sub-positions in time of attack. Now, you can assure him that we will not allow the KGB to get him out of Central America. We'll intercept him and bring him safely to the States.
Okay.
You know that Parrot's M.O. is to keep his prisoner sedated.
Right. And I know how to bring the Russian out of it.
Parrot uses the race cars as a cover to get him all over the world. He's very polished, but he's a dangerous character. Don't underestimate him.
Okay.
You'll have a radio contact in Guatemala City.
Right, that'll be Bucky.
I wish I could accommodate you. She's in Tokyo.
Well, she's back.
What? Jake, what is it?
Jake has come in here to tell you that I don't know how to speak Chinese anymore. It's gone, that's all.
Mrs. Wang saw Frank in the hallway. She greeted him in Chinese. He didn't seem to understand, so she asked him a question in Chinese.
And I don't know a word of Chinese. Yesterday I had it cold, today, 0.
Okay. So what he learns from the computer lasts for 72 hours, that we know. Anything after 3 days is a risk. No problem.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Wait a minute. What happens if you're in a tight spot 80 hours or 78 or even 73 hours after you've left here and you've forgotten everything you're supposed to know and be?
Jake, will you just take it easy? It only means that I have to wrap it up and get out of there before the 72 hours run out.
You're content to go ahead with this, with that kind of a time bomb ticking away?
Jake, your ingenuity has made it possible for me to learn anything. Now, without what you did, I'd feel worthless. So there's a catch. A slight catch. Sometime after 72 hours, whatever I've learned begins to fade, and it just completely disappears 24 hours after that. Okay. I can live with that. But, Jake, I don't know if I can live without what you and your computers do for me.
Okay, Frank. I'll get a digital watch modified for you. It'll be a countdown watch that starts at 72 hours and runs down to 0. So you have something to remind you how much time you have left.
Thank you.
We're running out of time.
Now call Bucky, will you? She's in her apartment waiting to hear that you still love her.
Memory or no memory, you got guts, Monahan. You always have. I respect that.
Thanks.
Good luck.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm putting my stuff in the trunk. I'm the mechanic.
Thomas?
See your passport and papers.
Welcome to sunny Central America.
He's a factory mechanic, all right.
I told him to send me a hot mechanic.
Well, I'm hot.
I doubt it. Every top mechanic I've ever heard of has been German or Italian, not American.
Now, I can't help it if I'm not German or Italian. But if it make you feel any better, I grew up in England.
What's your name?
Davis. Joe Davis.
Okay, Joe. You ride back there with the car.
Oh, thanks very much. Who are you?
I'm your boss. That's who I am. That car you're here to nursemaid is my car. I'm the driver.
You got it.
I don't trust our American mechanic with sort of an English accent. As soon as we get to the track, I want you to call the factory in England and have them send me an exact description of the mechanic they sent with my car.
Very well. Inline carburetors, starting with the basics. Inside here, we'll see the jets that spray the petrol into the throat, mixing it with the inducted air. You can watch, but don't touch.
How can I learn to be a mechanic like you?
You go to school and study hard.
Oh, is that how you learn?
Not exactly, but it's how you'll learn.
Dominic!
1 minute, 29.6 seconds. Liar. Check the time before yourself. You're all liars.
How long, Davis?
Want it fast or when it's ready?
I want a straight answer.
4, maybe 5 hours.
You'd better make up for being so slow by being awfully good. Thank you for the car. It is beautiful.
Uh-huh. Aren't you ever going to come home?
Well, as soon as I've driven it once or twice.
Daniel!
Daddy, what is the point of you getting me a car if I'm never going to use it? Come on, let me show it to you, please.
You've got weeks before the time trial.
I know, but Dominic just did a lap in 1:29.6. Daddy, I've got to beat that.
We're having friends over tomorrow night. I want you home to greet them.
If I have to.
They come at 7. Aren't you going to introduce me to your new mechanic?
Joe Davis, this is my father, Mr. Parrots.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Hello. Mr. Davis, are you English?
Half and half, actually, Mr. Parrots. I was born in Cleveland, but grew up in England. My father was in the army.
An American mechanic from an English factory. What is the world coming to? Very nice to have met you. Tomorrow, 7, sharp, in your best.
Very well.
It's interesting the factory should send you an American mechanic.
I already had Thomas check with the factory, and they're sending a cablegram with a complete description of their mechanic.
By the time that factory sends me a cablegram, I'll be a very old man. Thomas, I want the belongings of the new mechanic gone through, completely, everything.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
But I like him, sort of.
He's the only stranger in our camp. Don't you see? Someone might try and get the Russian back. He's very valuable. I'm not taking any chances.
The mechanic sleeps in the garage with the car.
Yes, well, I'll think of something.
.3608. Well, that's not so hot.
It wasn't tuned properly. You don't know what you're doing.
I'm telling you, your car is perfectly tuned.
Then how come I did a lap 7 seconds slower than Dominic?
I don't know. Maybe you're afraid to push it.
Stop the car!
You know, I can drive one of these cars a heck of a lot better than I can repair them.
You're fired, you hear me? Right now! Thomas!
You know, I can drive one of these cars and a heck of a lot better than I can repair them.
You?
That's right. And when I do, I think I'm going to want an apology.
You have got yourself a deal.
And when you don't, I'll have Tomas arrange for you to rot in the local jail for a year or two.
Me son wants to learn how to become a race car driver, just like the professionals. Can you find someone to teach him immediately?
Get Danziger fast.
Right.
Gene, what is it? What's happened?
Monahan sent word through Bucky that he's got to learn to drive that Formula Ford as well as a pro by 6 a.m. his time.
Oh, my God.
What?
We didn't teach him how to drive.
Hello? Hold it. He took his wife to the theater.
Find out which one. Get Clemens in Berkeley and get him to the theater. Get our mechanic on the phone. Tell him it's life and death.
What's the name of the theater? Well, what's the name of the play?
How could we have overlooked it?
Yes, I'll wait.
Jake, the escape plan didn't call for him to drive that car. It's understandable you wouldn't think of it.
Well, we should have. I should have.
Jake, get the computer ready. Find that mechanic.
It's been more than an hour. Try Danziger again.
Now, they told me not to break through, to await further instructions.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Now, don't forget to tell your son that he should take time out to practice what he just learned. We don't want him to have an accident.
Sadly, there's not time for that.
But he's got to practice until his body gets used to it.
You don't know how much I am going to enjoy watching you fall flat on your face.
Oh, I got some idea.
Danielle tells me you might have shaved a few seconds off of my time.
That's a distinct likelihood.
Well, let's get on with it.
Catch up with me, brain. That's better.
He can't even keep the car in the track.
go over the wall at Parrott's compound is the southeast corner. From there, it is 120 yards uphill to the storage house where the Russian sub-captain is being held.
To a party.
Before you throw me in the slammer.
I have tux and all the trimmings in the motorhome. You can shower and change them.
Oh, I'm not much for parties.
Please. My father's giving a party, and you'll be the only one I can talk to. Dance with. Be with.
Yeah, you know why I beat Dominic's time this morning?
Yes? Because you tuned my car better than Tony tuned Dominique's. And because you're a better driver than Dominique. And because you were right. I was scared to push it. I apologize.
Phew, I'm not much for parties.
That's all right. I'll even teach you how to dance.
Okay, boss.
My name is Danielle. Say it.
Danielle. Danielle.
So, this is where you live, Danielle.
I thought you said you couldn't dance.
You make it easy.
You, haven't said my name in a while.
Danielle. Danielle.
That's nice.
Tell me, Danielle, why are there guards all over the place?
Because we have a great many priceless art treasures in the house.
I don't see anything priceless around here except for the way you move, that is.
house where they're holding the Russian sub-captain is directly down the hill from the terrace.
Later, we'll get a couple of horses and go for a ride or something.
I could get used to this.
Don't get too used to it.
Con su permiso.
Well, you should be flattered.
Oh?
My father has invited you for brandy in the study, and he usually doesn't do that with my friends.
Oh, I'm not partial to brandy.
Well, fake it. Otherwise, he'll be offended. Come on.
Just as well. What? To let the Russians sleep on our proposal. They'll come around in the morning.
You're probably right.
Ah, Mr. Davis. When we called you a factory in England, they didn't mention that you could drive the car as expertly as you did. They told us a great deal about you, more than I thought any employer could know about any employee. But they didn't say that you drove the car. Which I thought curious. Very curious. That's why I had your belongings searched. And they found your burglar tools, which I found doubly curious. For a mechanic from a factory?
I could explain, but I see you're going to do it your way.
The only way I know. How do you feel?
I feel.
What is your mother's maiden name?
Burroughs.
What is your sister's name?
I don't know her other sister.
It's all exactly what his boss at the Ford factory told me.
What are you doing with burglar tools?
Places I go, the people I hang around with, they have a lot of valuable stuff. I've stolen jewels, a few paintings. Nothing big.
Who sent you here?
Mr. Langley, the boss of the factory mechanics.
Are you married? Or have you ever been?
No, never.
What do you do with the money that you get from stealing?
Save it
For what?
so I can buy me own race car instead of taking care of someone else's.
All right, so we know he's a mechanic with a hobby. He can't hurt us. But I want him out of here. On a plane tomorrow.
Daddy?
No, Daniel.
Daddy, you just said that he can't hurt us. Now, I like him, Daddy. He's an excellent mechanic and... Oh, but Daddy...
No, Daniel.
Drink this, chum.
How long have I been out?
Hours. It's almost a new day. The perfect time for a ride. Go on. Drink it. We found your burglar tools. You told us your whole life story.
It's already boring.
Quite. Let's go. I brought you a change of clothes. And I also got you a stay of execution. It'll take me 10 minutes to change, so, hurry up.
You are doing very well.
Bonesing woke me up.
You're the sexiest mechanic I ever met.
And you are the sexiest Formula Ford driver I ever met.
Where are you going? Come back here!
Hold it! Come on, get off the horse. Up.
All right, down with the coffee. Up with your hands. Guns. Pistoles, pistoles. The door. Open it. It's just like they said. He's sedated.
There is only room for you in the escape helicopter. The Russian sub-captain must be left behind. He is expendable.
Well, I hope they got this right.
Kto ty такой? Gdzie ja jest?
I ciebie помогу. I dostać хочу документы. I've been asked to assure you that your friends will not let you be taken out of Central America and that you will be brought to the United States.
When?
They didn't say.
I know who comes for me.
KGB.
No one will get me away from the KGB. No one.
Oh, don't sell your friend short.
Let's be honest with each other. As soon as you have these good points, I am worthless.
You're right. I'm gonna tell him you refuse to give him to me. Okay?
Do you know what are you doing, young man?
For another 22 minutes and 28 seconds, I do. Come on, let's go.
I'm sorry. Too much sitting in cars and cellars.
Look, we never really had a chance to get to the primary rendezvous point anyway. We've got to figure out some way to get to the secondary spot. Huh? You all right?
I'll be right in a moment or two.
All right, come on, let's go. Huh?
I'll be right. Just I'll be
okay, come on.
There is no sign of him.
Well, there's no one here, senor.
Carl, call the police. Tell them to block all the roads to the harbor. And then pacify our Russian friends. You go to the airport. They may be headed there. Then send some men to the beach in case there's a boat there to pick them up. We'll take the road to the track. It's a perfect spot for a chopper to come down and grab them. Let's go.
I've been circling for the last 10 minutes. He's not here.
Okay, proceed to second rendezvous point.
You got it.
I'm aboard, mate. Sure you can hold on?
For a trip to America, I can do anything.
Ready?
stay right there, you hear me?
But it's past the time. I got my orders, too.
That is an extremely valuable man you're waiting for. You don't leave without him.
Get that thing out of the way! Come on!
Here's your passenger. All right, on the skid. I don't know if I can get off the ground with the two of you. Well, we'll soon find out, won't we? I don't understand. Can't you speak Russian? I'm afraid not. I've got full power now. I don't know.
Okay, so we screwed up. We forgot to teach you how to drive a Formula Ford. But we came through, didn't we?
Yeah, but I could have gotten killed.
Hey, that's part of the job. Yeah, be reasonable.
I'm not that sort of guy, Gene.
What's that mean?
Well, Bucky's been telling me what kind of an independent person I used to be. Stubborn. It's true.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, I want to be my old self again, right? I mean, we all want that for me, don't we?
Of course.
That's why I'm not going on that harebrained assignment you've been telling me about, Gene. I'm turning it down.
Now, wait a minute, Monahan. I'm not going to stand for this.
What about our deal?
What deal?
Well, the one that said I work 1 month and take the next month off.
I never agreed to that. Wait a minute. How come you remember that?
It just came to me.
Just came to you. Came to you, you told him, didn't you? Thanks, Jake. All right, we'll talk it over. But first...
Now, I want to talk to you about where we used to go when we played hooky.